So what is it with the large amount of people right now that probably have had no hands-on experience going, Destiny 2 is just a reskin, it's an expansion? Like, is that fair? Just because visually it looks like Destiny 1, does that automatically mean that it's going to be like Destiny 1? Let me run you a scenario right quick, alright? You had sex with this really hot girl, right? Then her identical twin sister comes over and wants to bang. Are you just gonna say no because she looks the same? Or are you gonna see if she rides it a different way? I mean, just throwing that out there, right? So, you can't just say, hey, this looks like it, so I don't want anything to do with it. You may be missing out on one hell of a cool experience. Maybe she's a gymnast. I don't know. Are we even still talking about twins? Doesn't matter. Still applies. But the core message here is please stop judging a book by its cover. Please. This game is nothing like the original. Just because it's different, though. Hang on. This is where we backpedal. Does not mean it's necessarily better or worse. Different is pretty much the word that I am comfortable with describing Destiny 2. Because, though visually it may be the same, the way the game is played is entirely different. It's now more about skill, teamwork, team shooting, synergy, cooperation. Did I mention team shooting? Because that's a crucial part now. So, effectively, the way the game itself is played is entirely a new creation. It was basically rebuilt from the ground up. It's no longer really a fair comparison to compare it. It's an entirely different game. It plays more like a Halo or a Rainbow Six or a Counter-Strike than it does a Destiny. It's entirely different now, and you need to respect that it has changed. And for years, we have been asking for skill to matter, for gunplay to matter, for teamwork to matter, no longer about the chaos of people getting kills with a single button or trigger pull. That was some frustrating stuff. It was just too casual, too many handicaps, and finally they answered our prayers. And the result is Destiny 2. Now, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this or not. I don't know if I'm on board, but I have had some pretty disappointing moments, and this is because this change has effectively made it so that it's a mandatory thing to roll with a full party, or at least a single buddy. You basically need to attach to somebody and become like a tumor. Just battle buddy up, and you have to team shoot. It's like a necessity now. So you can't really worry about 1v1s because you're rarely going to get graced with such an opportunity. And even if you do get that kill, you've got to go run, cower, and hide and wait for the 12 years it takes to regenerate your health, and then you could hop back into the fray. So there's so many mechanics that have changed the entire way the game is played, and it's up to you to determine whether or not this is your flavor of Destiny. So, different is the word of the day. Now, my overall opinion about the game, it's a little mix, right? It's a little hot and cold, you know, it's a little tight end, a little loose, a little Trump, and a little smart. You following me, right? Like, there's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of bad. There's lots of enhancements, improvements overall across the board. It still feels like Destiny in terms of the guns you're used to, the abilities you're used to. The gameplay, I guess, flows a different direction now, but for the most part, it's kind of still there. A fragment of itself, but it's still there. And if I had to compare these things, this new foundation, to other experiences I've had in gaming, Control right now, in the skill-based matchmaking it has, the sweatiness that's revolving around this, it kind of reminds me of a sweaty experience of Halo back in the day, where you have to watch how you use your equipment, play it right, group together, take people out, control the map, and it doesn't feel like a Destiny anymore. There is no casual, there are no handicaps. It is not a simple, relaxed experience. It is a sweaty environment always. And, of course, competitive is exactly what you would expect. It plays more like a Counter-Strike or a ranked game of Overwatch or Siege or something. You have round-based experiences with revives, planning objectives, the whole shebang that you're used to. So that part I'm all for. But what I don't like is not having any just fun, fast-paced, relaxed experiences. If I'm not really feeling in the mood to sweat, I don't have much of a choice, because sweating is the only thing they're serving today. So that kind of sucks. There's nothing just casual to play, and coming from Destiny 1, which was about as casual as a game can get, I'm not too happy about that change personally. I'd like there to be some fallback there. Now, it is worth mentioning that we really do not know a lot about what's coming. We have no clue about the roadmap ahead in terms of what's coming for ranked, what kind of loot system's coming, what kind of changes are issued out there. And I could sit here and list off of things about need to be nerfed or worked on and tweaked. And of course, it's a beta. I expect these things to be addressed, diagnosed, and in fact cured by time full release. But you honestly can never be sure about that. Again, right now the guns feel amazing. Like they're balanced. I can use pulse rifles, scout rifles, hand cannons, auto rifles, and feel confident in everything I'm using. But the original Destiny at the start felt that way too. Then guns came out, things were overwhelming, metas changed, and there was always just something or a couple some things that were so overwhelming that it just broke the crucible. So there's no way to tell whether or not the same flaws of yesteryear will still plague this game or not. And honestly, that's not going to be determined until a few weeks, if not a month or two, into the life of Destiny 2. So, as much as I hate to say it, you're still going to be risking a wonky PvP experience. And as much as I want to get in behind the story and the new activities for PvE, we don't have a lot to go on. So I can't really talk about that kind of stuff. I'm not qualified, and no one is at this point. So, I'm going to cut this video off talking about one thing I really like, a new addition, and one